Hello, I wanted to do a little short video to show you guys the trip that I take home. I'm going to tell y'all a few things about the area. Right now I'm in Bedford County, Tennessee. I left from Shelbyville, and I hope y'all can see this okay. You'll see that this is farmland. These happen to be what I'm passing now is they're primarily used for hay. 2 of these fields are used for soybean production, but all the rest is just wild fields. I don't know if y'all can see, but it's just wild fields that are grown up. A lot of the places along through here now, at one time, almost everybody in this area had at least 100 acres of land. But, you know, it gets kind of expensive to upkeep land. You have fencing and you have bush hogging expenses and things like that, and property taxes that can eat into just being a landholder if you never even did anything with your land. And so you're going to see there's a lot of signs of acreage up for sale. And so these people, they own the farms, and just like my daddy did, he had about 500 acres. Well, it's supposed to be divided amongst his children. Well, that's what happened in our family. We kept ours. But a lot of these people, their children moved away into bigger areas, and they have smaller pieces of land that they can better manage. And so when these older people die, then these big acreages are left to be sold off, whether it's as a whole or in parcels. Now we're coming up on a place right up here. It's like, I think when I get up here, I'll read it off to you what it says. But it's several hundred acres. Oh my goodness, I'd love to have something like that now that I forage and stuff. But it's 185 acres plus a 3-bedroom house. Right there is 26 acres on that side, and these are all overgrown and heavily forested, and it's 185 acres there, and these are all land that has been let go. They've not been cared for, so to speak. They haven't been maintained. They've just been left alone, so they're overgrown. That one right there has a trailer with it. I don't know how many acres it is, but as you can see in the distance, you know, there's people that own that whole hill right there, a family. And that's what it's like around here, is there's these large acreages. But when the older person dies, when the landowner dies, the land is usually divided up into parcels and sold off. Well, that's only a recent occurrence, and even this is walking horse country. So what happens is a walking horse owner comes in here and buys something like that pretty cheap. They put them up a walking horse farm. And walking horses, you know, as long as you've got places to graze for the horses and shelter in a training facility, which is just a barn and a ring where you can exercise the horse and train them on how to walk and stuff, then you don't need a lot of extraneous land like for grazing. Now you do need land for cutting hay. Now that's what all that field right there, now that's a hunt club back there, Quill Valley. Now all that right there will be cut probably by the end of this month, first next month for hay. And that's what these places are utilized for. When you see these large fields, it's for hay. And then, of course, you will see livestock as well. I'm plan on taking y'all through several little areas down this road, but this is my drive of the day, and I am prone to, when seeing a place, and what I mean by that is I can see it from the road, I am prone to pull along the side of the road and get out and run out and grab some. Now, I don't grab from the side of the road, but like I went over, I parked right there, right where we're coming up. Oh, you'll see that little piece of sunlight right there. I parked right there and I walked back in there, and I got a bunch of different herbs, wild forageables, and then there's another couple of places down these roads. There's a real pretty one, Arbor Hill Road. It's only one car width. If you meet another car on the road, you both got to pull over to the side and just crawl along. It's got a lot of potholes and stuff on it. But I've gone down that road, and there's a lot of farms that have been left fallow. That's the word you use, is fallow. They've just been left to set. Because in the way of, and farmers will do that on purpose too, you can over farm land, especially if you do what's called monocropping. If you only grow corn, you're going to wear out your land, the soil. If you only grow soybeans, the same thing. If you only grow hay, it's the same thing. So what you like to do is do crop rotation. And what a lot of farmers will do, especially with, oh look, the goats are out. Look, y'all go see these goats. They're very handsome goats too. Look at them right there. Aren't they pretty goats? I think they're pretty because they're brown on the front and white on the back. They're real, and they're handsome goats. Like they're meat goats is what they are. Anyway, so what a farmer will do is he'll leave some land go fallow. And what that means is just weeds will grow up. The land will return back to nature. Small trees and bushes will come up. And the way that nature takes care of things, now this is traditional farming. This is not this newfangled big agri type farming, chemical farming. This is traditional farming. You let the land go back to the way the land needs to be. And then in another, let's say 5 to 7 years or even a decade, then you go in and you cut out timber. You use different kinds of timber for fence posts or for building, for sheds and things like that. You go in, you cut down the large trees and you use that, and then you bush hog and you bulldoze and you come in, you turn the land over and you grade the land and you renew it, but you've let nature take its own course. And that is traditional way of farming, and that's what is done here. And so I wanted to show y'all that. It's one of the most pleasant drives you could have. Now, I'd take y'all over Chestnut Ridge, but that is just scary as all get out. It's like going around a mountain. It's tight, and it's curve after curve after curve after curve, hill, 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 curve, curve, curve. It's terrifying for people that are not from here or used to it, but I've actually driven that. My lights went out one night on top of the hill, and all I had was fog lights. I made it home all right. But as you see now, we're going to come into Petersburg here. This is my little hometown. And I got to make sure I slow down because the police officer, he don't play. He sits and waits for speeders to come by, and then he'll get them. But everybody knows about him, and you can see him before you get to him. But I wanted to show y'all that, and here's the view of my little town as you come in. Now, this is not where I live, but this is where I lived my life for 37 years of my life. And this is where my people are and my family is, and this is where my heart is. I'll tell you the truth of it. I can't tell y'all the love that abounds in this community among each other, the way that people take care of their neighbors. When my house burned, the house that I lived in, my daddy had always used it as not a rental, but he'd let young couples stay in the house rent-free, and up to 2 or 3 years until they could save them up money to put them a down payment on a place. All they'd have to pay is utilities, and back then that was only like $20 or $30 a month. And so, because the water's free down there, we had spring water. And so, so the night that my house burned, there were 200 people that came and parked alongside the road, and they shared their memories with me of when they were a young couple or they had their first child, and the things that my daddy did for them to help them get their start. That's the kind of community that this is. And y'all know how I get all emotional and stuff, but that's one of those things that stays with you, that kind of love. And we didn't have no clothes or shoes, and so my neighbors gathered in different neighbors' houses close by. It was in December, me and my little girl, and they found shoes for us and a jacket. My neighbor, it was one of those flannel quilted jackets, and it was torn down the side, but he took it right off and he put it around me. And I've still got that jacket. It's Mr. Buford gave it to me. And so the love that these people have shown me over the years, this place is special. So I'm going to stop being a crybaby now, and I've shown y'all a good bit of my little route home. We're already on the other highway that'll take me into Fayetteville. As you can see, more farmland on either side. Now I do want to show y'all McGee's livestock up here. Now Dan McGee and my daddy started off as small farmers after World War II here together, and they both got to be big farmers. That's McGee livestock right there. You see all the beef cattle out there. Well, he also has chicken barns. He raises chickens. And so as you can see, these are the places I go foraging at. I did go up over there quite a ways down the fence because I saw Mark McGee out there, and I did ask him if I could get some of the weeds, and of course he looked at me crazy and he went, sure you can. So I did want to show y'all the kind of world that I live in and I come from, and this is my drive every day. Isn't it beautiful? Isn't it pretty? They call it God's country. Of course, every place that's pretty is God's country. Every place, period, is God's country. But even people from Alabama, where it's absolutely beautiful, when they come up here to Middle Tennessee, they call it God's country. So I just wanted to show y'all these bits of my life and my drive so that y'all can see this wonderful place that I have to forage from and to grow up in and to continue growing in. So until my next video, which I don't know if I'll be able to do one when I get home. My head hurts because of all the pollen. So I've got to take me some mullein tea, and I'm going to put a little barossa in it, and probably some of that woolly lamb's ear. That's good too for it. And I'm going to sip on some hot tea for a little while, maybe make some soup and do the same thing. And so until next time, God bless you all. I hope y'all are all doing really well out there. God is good, y'all. And remember to eat the wild things. Till next time.